This video is for anybody who's on the fence about going to or dropping out of college. It's going to tell my story of how I dropped out of college, why I dropped out of college, everything like that, but it's also going to help you make those decisions logically of whether you should drop out of college, whether you should stick in it, what makes sense for you. And I'm going to walk you through my decision-making framework for this video so that you can go through and see if this is going to be a good fit for you. All right, so before I went to college, I initially went in not really having too high hopes for college. I didn't really think that it would be that beneficial because I've been running a business since I was 14 years old. You know, and I say that lightly, like my business didn't really skyrocket until I was around 16 or start to grow. However, when I was 16, I was like, well, I don't really need college. What is college going to bring me, right? If I want to work for myself and not work inside of a business, what can I not do without a college degree? And so I did what I call a pros and cons list. I basically pulled up a piece of paper, drew a line down the middle, and looked at what are the pros and what are the cons, right? This is going to be very important in my decision making. And when I looked at it, I was like, well, what are the pros and what are the cons? And I think the pros for me were that I could make my parents happy. If I went to college, I didn't have to argue about it consistently. I had more positive energy in me because I didn't have to spend a lot of time arguing. And the cons were that it was a lot of time wasted. There was a lot of downsides to it. And I felt like it wasn't that great of a use of my time. And it wasn't really teaching me anything. My goals did not align with the vision of college, right? College, you build up the discipline to go into the real world, but a lot of people don't even build up that discipline. A lot of people go out there, they party, they drink, they smoke, they do the wrong things. And if you're that type of person, maybe college is right for you, right? Because it's going to be a great place for you to go drink. It's going to be a great party place. I personally don't want to party. I think fuck fun is my motto. It's Alex Hormozy's thing too. I kind of stole that from him, but I really do believe that. I don't believe in necessarily having fun right now. I believe in working right now. A lot of people will say like you only live once, and that's 100% true. That means that you only have one opportunity to save the world. It's not you only get to go party once. It's not only that you only get to go to the club once. It's not like that. YOLO, or you only live once, should mean, hey, you only have one opportunity to do what's right for the world and to help people grow and to see positive impacts around you. A lot of people will be like, YOLO, I'm just going to go drink, but it should be the other way around. YOLO, you only live once, so let's try to go to the gym, get healthy, and be the best version of yourself so that you are actually living. A lot of people are like, well, I just want to live life. And I don't understand that because I don't think as a broke college kid, you're really living at all. I think in order to live life to the fullest extent, you should have money, you should have a healthy lifestyle, you should be able to be happy. And I think that that's definitely something that you don't really necessarily get at college when you have the mindset that I have. I think the college culture is often messed up. There are some people there that don't drink, smoke, and do drugs and that kind of thing. But I had, for instance, one time I was sitting somewhere in public and I had heard a girl next to me. She was crying on the phone with her mom. She was basically saying like, hey, I'm pregnant. I don't know who the dad is because I've been with too many guys. That's haram.
Haram! Haram!
That's terrible. I don't want to see that anywhere around me. It's not the experience that I want to have in my life. I don't think it benefits me in that many ways. So I wanted to get out of that, right? I hear a lot of people talking about who are big entrepreneurs talking about their surroundings, managing their surroundings, making sure that they're making the best move for themselves. And I didn't think that being at college was the best move for myself. Before I even went, I had some doubts. I said that I was going to go for 2 years. I ended up only going for 6 months and dropping out because it was that bad. I made a promise with my parents that I was going to go for 2 years. Then I sat down with my mom, was talking to her, and she was like, okay, just try it out. Like, just give me at least 6 months. Stop complaining about it. 6 months, you got to go in for at least then. And I was like, okay, my time frame shifted. I don't have to go for 2 years now. I'm just going to go for 6 months. That's exactly what I did. I went in there. I killed it for 6 months. Not really. I killed it in the business. I didn't really kill it in any sort of academics because they were all scams, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I really do think that college did not help me out in the way that I needed it to, but it did help me out in the way of realizing, hey, a lot of the world is actually messed up. And I'm really thankful that I did go just for a little while so that I could experience how messed up some people are, what actually happens in some people's brains, and how much the lack of maturity that people have in the world. So when I made the decision to drop out, I really had to look at that pros and cons list and say, hey, is this something that actually makes sense for me? I had to look at the opportunity cost of it, right? What is the time that I'm spending here worth, right? If I spend 4 years here to get a degree, what is that degree actually going to do to skyrocket my career and make it worth 4 years and the cost? I was fortunate enough to not have to pay for my college. My parents paid for most of it, so pretty much everything they paid for, and I was thankful for that 100%. However, I didn't want them to waste their money either. I don't think that it's fair for them to have to pay for it if I'm not even going to use the education. And so I fought back against them and said, like, hey, don't pay for this. It's a scam. It's not what you should be doing, right? So that was kind of, the big thing is what I looked at is, okay, what is this 4 years of time worth? What can I do in these 4 years that this time is going to be taken away? And a lot of people don't look at their time, right? You got to look at your hourly rate, and you can do that by taking your salary every year in profit if you own a business and divide it by 2,000. That's the average amount of hours that people work in the US, right? So if you divide your salary in profit by 2,000, you get your hourly rate. And this hourly rate is what you make per hour worked. Right? So the premise of this is for each of those hours that you spend in classes, how much money could you be making otherwise? So if you spend 20 hours in a class per week, you're going to be losing out on 20 hours of potential money making. Let's just say that after taxes, you make $10 as your hourly rate. If you don't go to classes for 20 hours, you can make an additional $200 a week. Let's just say that you work 50 weeks every year. That would be an additional $10,000 in profit. What could you use with that money for? How could that money benefit you positively? And that doesn't even include if you go in and learn something outside of college, which I continually do. One of my core values is continued learning. I learn stuff to increase my hourly rate. I outsource things that aren't worth my hourly rate and hope that I can continue to scale my lifestyle and my hourly rate so that I can make more money. So decision-making framework comes down to this. Is this decision going to positively impact my life or negatively impact my life? If it's going to have no effect on your life, you probably should not waste your time on it. College is a big decision. It does take a lot of time. If you don't do this right, you're going to waste a lot of time in college. If you're going to be a doctor or you're going to be in law school, by all means, go to college. It's a great place to be if that's your goal. I would just recommend you focus on yourself, work on self-development, continue to work on yourself every single day. If your goal in life is to drink your life away and to be depressed and have a terrible life, then by all means, go to college. At the end of the day, it's your choice, and if you want to be a slave to the rat race for the rest of your life, that's okay. Someone has to flip the burgers at McDonald's, and it's not going to be me. If you want to own a business, it really doesn't make that much sense. The majority of education that you can get will be 10 times better by working inside of a business because you can skip out on that time that you're going to spend in English class. For example, my college English class, we watched this movie the one time, and this girl was having a mental breakdown because she couldn't figure out what color to dye her hair. The teacher was going all off about like, yo, it's green because of the ecology and like, who knows what garbage she was teaching, right? I was not paying attention. I was working on the business, obviously. And so that was the day that I decided not to go to that class. I basically flunked out because I didn't think it was that purposeful. And the only reason I stayed was because I had the housing there. What this did though, however, was put my back against the wall. This means that I only have one option, and that option is to win. If I don't win, I mess up everything. So I have to win. You will only get the things that you need to have. If you don't need to win, if you don't need to go out and make money, if you don't need to be healthy, you won't do it. But as soon as you hit rock bottom and you need that stuff, you'll figure out a way to get it. So instead of going to college, here's what I think you should do. I think instead of putting $20,000 to $30,000 a year into college, you should invest in your own self-education. For me, that was investing in seminars, in trainings, in live trainings. For example, I went out to the Lions Den to see Andy Elliott. I went to Limitless Arena, which had a ton of huge speakers at it. I did a lot of things to increase my education. In addition to this, I've spent thousands of dollars on courses and self-education for myself to continue to develop. I also think it's very important that you read books, that you continue to fill your mind with the right information, listen to podcasts. There's a ton of free resources on YouTube as well. Go out, learn the information yourself, and you're going to be way better off than the people who spend all their time learning about fractions in math class. I think one of the problems is college is seen as societally normal. This is okay, but I don't want to be normal. I want to be the best at whatever I do. I want to conquer everything, so that is why I don't think that college was a great fit for me. If I wanted to just blend in like everybody else, I could do that at college 100%, but I don't. I want to go out and win and conquer the day. There's a saying, I don't remember who it's from, but it's if you love life, don't waste time, because time is what life's made of. This is 100% true, and I just didn't see how 4 years of my life wasted away at college was going to help me endure and build my mental toughness and build my business. So if you're sitting here and you're saying, Zach, I'm thinking maybe I should drop out. I don't know. Do you think I should? Here's what we need to do. I use the Google Maps method to make decisions. This means I'd find two things. I find out where I want to be and where I'm at right now. Then I make the decision based on that path. Everything in life is like Google Maps. You got to know your starting point, meaning that you have to know what you're currently at. For example, the average American, less than $1,000 in their bank account, 17 pounds overweight. So if you don't want to be average, you got to look at where am I right now? If you're 17 pounds overweight and you have less than $1,000 in your bank account, figure out where you want to go. Google Maps is not going to take you anywhere if you don't tell it where to go. Then you got to figure out what the path is that you want to be on. Like a map, there's many paths that you can take. Some will be longer than others and some may have more stops along the way. It depends how quickly you want to get to your goal. For me, I said that, hey, I want to get to my goal as quickly as possible, so I'm going to skip the stop of college. Listen, I get a lot of hate for this decision too. I got teachers shaming me. I got people around me shaming me. Even my own parents for a little while said that it was probably not a good idea. And I agree with them. They wanted the best for me. However, I know for a fact that I can win. I know that if I don't win, I can acquire the skills to go get a job somewhere, make more than the average American, and have a secure life. Now my mission is just to prove them wrong. Now I'm living back at home with my parents, and that's okay. There's a lot more pressure here, of course. However, I'm still forced to go at it, get the work in, and go win every single day because they're watching over my shoulder. I really do believe in delayed gratification. I grind now so that I can get the result later. So if you're a parent watching this video and you're like, hey, I don't want my kids to drop out of college, but they want to, and you want to know what to do, here's what you need to do. And also, if you're a kid, this is what you can tell your parents. You need to make sure that they have some sort of path. If you're just dropping out of college because you don't feel like being there, but you have no clue of your life path, it's not going to work out in your favor. But if you have a life path drawn out and say, hey, this is where I want to be, this is where I'm currently at, and this is how I'm going to get there, that is 100% a valuable way to do it. So what I recommend you do is write down on a piece of paper what you want to do, where you're at right now, and how you're going to get from where you're at to where you want to go. If you can write down all those three things and make sure that they're clear, and you can show your parents that, hey, I'm on a good path, hey, I'm working to develop myself outside of school, I think they're going to be a lot more open to it. Originally, my parents were like, hell no. Then I convinced them by showing them, hey, I'm still working as much or more than I did before. I also showed them that, hey, I'm actually making progress, I'm self-developing, I'm learning more about myself, and I'm helping people out in the real world. As long as you have a path, I think that college is not that needed. I think it's very needed for the people who need to go learn the life lesson and hit rock bottom. But if you don't want to hit rock bottom, you want to learn the lessons now, and you think, hey, college might not be a good fit for me, it's definitely something to consider. So if you have any questions, I'd love to help you out in any way possible. Just hit me up on my Instagram, my Twitter, whatever platform you want to hit me up on. I'll be there. So keep killing it. I got you back for life. And I hope that this decision is easy for you to make. Keep killing it. I know you're going to get the best results if you put in the best work. So keep putting in that work. Keep winning, and I'll see you later.